Hello, everyone. This is week 3 of my 52-week challenge to do a weekly LinkedIn live stream. I have a great guest here. I did a live stream with them last year, late December. I have Dr. Jeremy Gartner. He is the founder of Career Propulsion as well as a career strategist. How are you doing today, Jeremy?
Hello, very well. Thank you. Thank you for having me tonight. How are you?
I'm doing great. I wish I had your setup. You look fancy. You look super professional there.
Thanks.
Yeah, Jeremy, you want to share a little bit about yourself?
Yes, absolutely. So overall, my background is a scientific background. I got my PhD in aerospace engineering, and I kept jumping across different industries. I worked at CERN doing particle physics. I just jumped across different sectors. Now I'm in the medtech, but I stayed kind of a little too long in academia. Right now I'm doing my MBA at Wharton, and I spent the last 8 months in just creating content on social media and helping people looking for a job. So it's been quite a journey, but a fun one.
Yeah, and you touched a little bit on the live stream we had, and I mean, I don't know how you balance all this. You got a full-time job, you're doing your MBA, and you're a career strategist, a career coach on the side as well. So before we get into it, I would like to do my fun icebreaker. I want to make this a weekly thing. So I will go first. Again, I will share my 2 truths and a lie. I'll have people in the audience guess. You can put the number in the comments. And then, Jeremy, I would like to hear your opinion as well. So I'm going to go get here. Icebreaker. So here are my 2 truths and a lie. Number 1, I can speak 5 languages. Number 2, I have met a former U.S. president. And number 3, I can play the piano. So if you're watching this, here's the 2 truths and a lie. Put in the comments what number you think is the lie. Give everyone about 20 to 30 seconds here. I can speak 5 languages. I have met a former U.S. president, and I can play the piano. Any guesses right now, Jeremy?
My guess is that you cannot play the piano.
Your guess is I can't play the piano. Okay.
Yes, my guess is that, yeah.
Any guesses in the comments here? Okay, a few people agree with you here, Jeremy. But I can't play the piano. Let me bring that back up on the screen here. So, all right, I can speak 5 languages. I have met a former U.S. president, and I can play the piano. So the lie is number 2. I have not met a former U.S. president. So I can speak 5 languages. I can play the piano. When I was coming up with this, I was like, which one would be the coolest here? So I've played the piano since I was 7. I took lessons all throughout school. And then after college, I just sort of, print out sheet music and play on my own. So not saying I'm really, really good, but I've played the piano for many years. Jeremy, do you want to share your 2 truths and a lie?
Yes, sure, absolutely. So my number 1 is that I did a trip on a bicycle in Southeast Asia that was 2,000 miles.
Okay.
My number 2 is that I speak Spanish. And my number 3 is that I lived in 4 countries.
Okay, I want to type this up here. And then the last one is you've lived in 4 countries.
I lived in 4 countries.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to put it on the screen here. Lived in 4 countries. Oh, wait. Oh, what happened? Okay. Sorry, I got to retype it. All right. Number 1 was you biked around Southeast Asia, 2,000 miles.
Yep.
Around Southeast Asia.
Around Southeast Asia, 2,000 miles on a bicycle.
Yep.
Then number 2 is that I speak Spanish.
Speak Spanish.
And number 3 is that I lived in 4 countries.
And you have lived in 4 countries. Okay. Yeah, I just got to hit save first before I post it here.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so these are Jeremy's 2 truths and a lie. So in the comments, guess which one is the lie here? Biked 2,000 miles around Southeast Asia, speaks Spanish, and lived in 4 countries. So I know I've talked to you already. I don't want to say anything yet until I put my final guess. But people in the comments, guess which one is Jeremy's lie here? I think 2,000 miles is very, very impressive, but that may be a slight exaggeration, maybe. And then number 2, I know you're super talented. I know you're a very smart person. With your degrees, your aerospace degree plus your MBA right now. And yeah, number 3, if anything here is definitely is the truth here. So okay, we got a few people who think number 3 is the lie. I'm going to bring that back up on the screen again.
Yeah, no. So the lie is actually number 2. I do not speak Spanish.
Oh no, hablas español?
Je ne parle pas français, non.
Ah, okay. I don't understand French, but
no. So I did live in 4 countries. I lived in France, in Switzerland, in Israel, and in the US.
Okay.
And when I was 21, I just went on a trip with a friend, where basically we just bought a bicycle in Bangkok, and we just traveled around Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos, Thailand. Amazing trip.
That is amazing. You gotta tell me more about that. It's just checking in here. Is your video frozen here? It's frozen on my end.
Is it? Oh, I do. Yeah. No, on my side, it seems to be fine. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you well. I'm watching the live stream as well. Looks like you're frozen here.
Interesting.
So.
No, I have no idea why. Interesting.
Okay. Do you want to?
Give me a second. Give me a second, okay? Let me come back in 30 seconds.
Sure. Yeah, appreciate all the comments so far. If you have any questions about how to get job interviews before Jeremy kind of shares a little bit more, drop them in the comments, and then I'll make sure we'll address it here. Any questions about job seeking or any questions about getting job interviews? I think that's the challenge everyone faces today. So while Jeremy's figuring out his camera, you can drop some questions here, and I'll make sure.
Okay, am I still frozen?
You're still frozen here, but I hear you great. So I don't know. Up to you if you want to keep going here.
Interesting. Yeah, no, let's keep going. I'm going to try to just disconnect the camera and see if I can do anything with that.
Okay. So, all right, Jeremy is going to be back in a second here, and then I'll add him back in here. Yeah, so people in the comments, share, what are you struggling with getting job interviews? Why do you think you're not getting job interviews? What kind of tips do you want? Put them in the comments, and we'll post it here. All right, I think you're back here, Jeremy.
Okay, my apologies for that.
Yeah, no problem at all. So I guess I'll start with our first question here. What's the number one thing you see job seekers doing wrong?
They apply online. The number one problem from job seekers is that they apply online, relying on a system that was not designed to accept thousands of applicants for every job. So that whole system was designed as the company moved to a digital transformation process. Then they needed to basically to have a way to scale up. And that's why today there is that online application process, because that's the best that companies know how to do. But that is the least effective process to find a job. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you see job postings with 100, with 1,000 people applying to it. And, just by basic odds, you only have a 1% chance or a 0.1% chance of getting that job. And even with the interviews, you got so many people just applying, and with so many applications, a company just can't look at it fully, right? They can't have a human look at it. They all have to rely on an ATS or rely on a computer-based system. and go through it, and that loses that human touch. So yeah, I agree with you. Applying online is easier, right? But it's a numbers game, and it's, as a job seeker, it's an easy way to lose. There's just too many people applying for the same job.
Yeah, exactly. So by the way, I just switched the camera. I think I had issues probably with my internet, so you should be able to see me better now.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, you're good here.
Awesome. So people typically come to me once they applied online to hundreds of jobs and they just get no response. And if they do get a response, then they see that they're going to compete with people who got referred and they will not land a job.
Yeah.
So even if you apply online and you do land an interview, everyone who got a referral will have that competitive advantage over you. So the only way why you may get that job and not the other person is because they are extremely weak and you are extremely strong. So there is that unbalance in terms of skills. But from the very beginning, I just like to level up the playground and just get a referral to find a job. And it is extremely easy to find a referral, by the way.
Yeah. And I think another good stat to add on to what you said, 80% of jobs aren't even posted online, right? It's all by, hey, we have this opening, or we're trying to fill this position. Now, we already know who it's going to fill in, right? It's all about referrals. It's all about who you know. Do you have any tips on, how do you get referrals?
Absolutely. So the problem today is that everyone is being told that in order to find a job, they need to network. Okay, that's not a secret. However, the issue is that no one is being told how to do that. So I created the 90-30-10 method, where the objective of that method is to help people getting a referral in less than a week at any company, even though they have no connections at that company. So the 90-30-10 method, the idea behind that method is that, let's say you are going to apply to a job at Amazon as a product manager. You are going to use the search engine on LinkedIn to create a list of people who could refer you, who are as close as possible to that job. And you are eligible to send 90 connection requests every day. So you are going to just send connect, not personalized. You just want to add people to your network. And a third of them are going to accept your request. That's the stats that I've been collecting for the last 8 months.
Okay.
So a third of them are going to accept your request, even though it was not personalized. And what it's allowing you to do, it's connecting with them directly without having to send them an email, without having to look for that additional piece of information. So once they are in your network, what you want is to speak with them, to ask about their experience. The objective should never to be a referral. The referral, that's a byproduct of speaking with them and creating a connection.
Mm-hmm.
But the key here, it's in the execution. So when you ask them to speak with you over the phone, if you are going to send them a text message, the response rate is about 15%. When if you send a video message, the response rate is above 50%.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, that's a really impressive method.
So it's very methodical. It works like a clock because you know exactly step 1, step 2, step 3. You send 90 connection requests. You send 30 video DMs. Out of those 30, you will get about 15 people telling you that they're willing to speak with you. You will end up speaking really with about 10 of them because you will lose a third in the process of coordinating. And out of those 10, you will get at least 2 people offering to refer you. And sometimes I've seen that all of the 10 people are going to propose to refer the person, even though they did not ask to be referred.
I like that breakdown, right? And you even provided some stats before, right? So connect with people, not everyone's going to respond, which is perfectly fine, right? But then I think that what you said, sending them a video message, that makes you stand out because you're no longer just a text message. You're no longer just, even on LinkedIn, you do have a profile, you have, personality there. But with the video message, they see exactly who you are, right? This is why I like making videos on LinkedIn. This is why I'm doing live streams, because we could just do an audio track here, right? But by having the video, you get to see the personality, you get to see the real person. And then if I get a video message, someone asking, hey, can I talk to you? I want to learn more about what you do as a project manager. And you send me a video, it's hard for me to turn you down because you put in the effort to send me a video. If you send me a quick test that obviously looks like it's copy and pasted, it's easier for me to ignore. So I really, really like that method of sending videos. Anything you want to add to that about why video is so effective?
People don't only see a text, they see you, they feel you. They interact with a real human being, meaning that it is very difficult to ignore you when you are sending a video. So that's the key here, to create that connection at a deeper level. And that's why it is so effective. Now, I do see questions here in the chat.
I'm going to post it right after once you're here. So so we got a couple questions here. I'll make sure to address it here. And if you have any more questions, leave them in the comments. So Nan is asking, how do you ask them to refer you without making it awkward?
So the key is that you want to probe them. You want to probe and to give a hint so that they are going to refer you, but you don't want to ask for specifically for a referral. Because it's going to take effort on their side, they have to volunteer that help. Otherwise, it's not going to be effective. So the key here is when you are going to make that phone call about them, really about them. And the more you listen to them, the less you speak, the more they will be willing to help you. It's kind of counterintuitive, but that's how you build trust. You let the other person speak. At the end of the call, you can ask them, listen, I would really like your advice. There is a job at your company that may be a perfect fit for my background. Do you have any advice to ensure that the hiring manager will look at my resume? So you are hinting very heavily that you would like a referral, but you are not asking explicitly for that.
I like that, right? And you touched on two really important points, right? You're putting the attention on that person. And, speaking from my perspective as a project manager, as a career coach, and people, connect with me, people send me messages all the time. I like the ones that say, hey, I really liked your growth. I'm really curious of how you became a public speaker, how you became a project manager. I want to learn more. So it's like, oh, and people, people like their egos being stroked, right? They like to talk about themselves. So with what you just said, you're giving them an opportunity to share more about themselves, because people like, talking about themselves. And then the second point you said, you don't hint at it directly. You don't say it directly, hey, I'm looking for a job. But I really like what you did there. Instead of saying, hey, I have a job here, can you refer me? You're saying, do you have any tips or advice how I can get my resume seen by a hiring manager? And this way, what's the person going to say? Oh, let me refer you, because they already made that personal connection with you. You spent the time, sent them the video message, the first thing. You got on the Zoom call with them. You listened intuitively. You asked good questions. They're more likely to help you. So I hope that answered your question, Don. I think that was a really, really great response there, Jeremy. Got another question here from Mason. Is there anything else a job seeker can do than reaching out to a recruiter via LinkedIn? Many recruiters do not respond to connection requests. So what's the best way to contact a company if the company's not located in the city you live in? You touched on it a little bit, but I'll let you, add on to that.
We want to avoid HR people and we want to avoid recruiters. So recruiters and HR people, they're here to block the gates from the masses, okay? Yep. They're going here to make sure that the hiring manager is not going to be overflooded by people, and they're going to handpick only a few candidates out of thousands of candidates, depending on the company and the role. But what will happen is that you will always have that second path that will bypass the recruiter and the HR person by going to an employee who is going to refer you. And that path is always more powerful. So not only the path of the recruiter and the HR person is less effective, it is also less powerful. So why putting so much more effort when you can go to an easier path, collect intelligence about and information about the job itself, because even if they don't refer you, they will tell you about the company. And at the same time, being seen by their hiring manager, and it's coming from a much stronger place because you are being referred, meaning that there is that trust that is already being built from the very beginning because someone referred you. So there is that perception of trust, at least.
Yeah, and I like that. Yeah, it's with HR and recruiters. I mean, they're like you said, they're holding the floodgates, right? They're preventing it from bursting open to get to the hiring managers. And you can imagine how many connection requests, how many messages these recruiters get. I'm not even in recruiting. I barely have, it's hard for me to keep up with my messages, right? But you got people, hey, I want a job. Help me get an interview. Look at my resume. Here's my resume. It's just too much. So
Yes.
With your 90-30-10 method, go straight to the decision makers. Go straight to those people who have the job opening or who are looking for people to fill in their team. Go reach out to them. Go make that personalized connection. Make that personalized request, and get on a call with them and build that connection. They'll be more likely to help you. So yeah, if there's any more questions about how to get job interviews, put them in the comments and we'll address it.
Absolutely. Another thing that I found that is extremely helpful is belonging to a community.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying that because I am teaching a 5 weeks program, and the community is really involved into helping each other. So a lot of the strain when you are looking for a job is by doing that on your own, when actually there are so many people going through that same process that if you create a group of those people and they start helping each other, then there is that small support that is going to push you so that every day you will set up goals, you are going to be active, you are going to send those video DMs, you are going to get feedback from other people on how you execute on those video DMs. You will be able to ask questions anytime, and someone always will be there to answer you. So, and I have a 5 weeks program and I have a community, but there are other people with communities as well. And my advice is, whether it's mine or another career coach, if you are looking for a job, join a community because there is a lot of strength in numbers.
Definitely, I agree. And I think multiple benefits, right? Like you said, with being in the community, you have a bunch of accountability partners, right? You have people who are also applying for jobs, people who are, trying to get interviews, trying to get their dream job. You talked about your coaching group. I'm in a couple of Facebook groups where people are job seekers or networking, and it's just having that sense of community. And one thing I want to add is, when you're in this community, you start hearing people, oh, they got this job, they got that job. Don't discourage yourself, right? Look at their success stories, look at their wins as motivation. Say, hey, what did they do to get a job at XYZ company? How did they get their dream job? And then you can also reach out to them as well. Hey, what worked for you? Hey, here's my video message, and people don't seem to, respond to it. What do you do? What are some tips to be better on video, etc.? So, if you're in these communities, you got a lot of support, people helping you, and you have a lot of people that you can also reach out for help as well.
No, absolutely. This is absolutely right. So I joined this year only 3 different communities because I have my community, but I am always in that transformation, in that mindset of keep growing. And so far, I found that when you find the right person leading the right community, you are going to accelerate your growth really, really fast. And that's what is really going to help job seekers finding a job faster than if they were looking for it on their own.
Yeah. Any questions in the comments? I want to summarize, if you joined a little late, Jeremy's 90-30-10 method. I'll let you kind of share the summary there in case people missed it. I don't want to misspeak for you or take the credit from you.
No worries. So just to summarize, the 90-30-10, it's a method so that you are going to be able to find someone to refer you from inside a company in less than a week, even though you have 0 connections. And to summarize the process, you are going to target your job. You are going to use the search engine on LinkedIn and create a list of people who could potentially refer you. You will send 90 connection requests until LinkedIn is going to block you for the day. Then you can do that again the day later, but every day you have about 90 free connection requests that you can send. A third of them are going to accept your connection request, even though it was not personalized. Then you are going to send video DMs, because more than 50% of the people will answer to your request to speak with them. Those video DMs need to be personalized. It has to be about them. It has to be about, you want to learn about their experience. The agenda is not to get a referral. The referral will be a byproduct from that conversation. It may happen, it may not happen. In any case, people give you a gift of their time. You should appreciate that, even if they don't refer you. And that's how 100% of the time you just secure a referral very fast.
Yeah. And I want to add on to that. I didn't say it earlier. When you end up getting on these Zoom calls or these phone calls with these people that you reached out to, follow up with them, right? Even if they couldn't give you a referral, or even maybe the company isn't what you thought it was. A month from then or 2 months from then, follow up with them. Say, hey, I just want to say thank you again for spending half an hour over the phone or over Zoom talking about what you do for work. I just want to just check in and see how you're doing. And maybe at the time you talked to them, they didn't have a job available, right? But by following up, that helps you keep yourself on the top of their mind. So when that perfect position comes, they can refer you directly there.
No, that's right. You are 100% right. It's about keeping the connection, being organized. So I didn't touch about that, but in my 90-30-10 method, I created a dashboard. I'm a scientist by training. I'm not an HR person. So I created a dashboard that I've optimized with data scientists. And that dashboard is serving as both a tool to track all of your job applications, but also how your network keeps growing. And it's serving as a small CRM so that you can keep track of all of the people that you connected with, that you spoke with, when it happened. And it's a simple tool, but it's extremely effective, because the goal is to create a process and to track the metrics at each step of the process, so that you can really understand where are the weak points, and you can just work on them very specifically.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a great way to keep track, right? Because you talk to so many people, it's hard to know who you talk to or when you talk to them. And by having a tool like that, it's absolutely great. Any more questions from anyone? We'll be wrapping up in a few minutes here. And Jeremy, I just want to say thank you so much for your time here. I learned a lot. I'm not actively job seeking, but I really like your 90-30-10 method. I've used bits and pieces of it, but I think it's just networking in general. With that video direct message, I think that's just a very effective way to connect with people and just build that personal connection. So if waiting for some more questions to come in, but Jeremy, I'll give you the floor here. Let you put in your plug or promote anything you have that's upcoming.
So what I do have, that is going to help, I believe, most of the audience that is listening here, is about that community. So that community, it's a 5 weeks training, a 5 weeks program where I'm teaching live 2 hours every week, different topics. So the 5 modules are going to be about the resume, the LinkedIn profile, the 90-30-10 method, how to create content on LinkedIn so that people will find you and not the other way around, and how to pass an interview. Now I am teaching live 2 hours a week on Wednesday evenings. And on the Monday evenings, we have a support group where people can bring their resume, their LinkedIn profile, a post they created, coming and asking for a mock interview, or whatever is going to help them into that job search process. It's a fun community. We are a good group of people already that are supporting and helping each other. And here, I don't know if I'm going to put the link in the chat. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, if you put it in the StreamYard, I think you can put it up. Okay, let me take that. Let me copy that.
Do you see it?
Yep, I'm going to put it into the live stream there.
Yeah, okay. So bottom line, it's 4 hours a week that is live, that is interactive. And basically it's 5 weeks, so 20 hours. And The price right now is $297. So what I can assure you is that this price is not going to stay like that for too long. As we are ramping up, we are providing so many tools and so much value that it's really helping people really getting a job. So at the end of the day, it's really about giving tools that you can apply right away, and it's not theoretical tools.
Yeah, and I put the link here. You guys should see it on the screen. Make sure to check it out. In the live stream description, I've tagged Jeremy as well, so make sure to connect with them. I think $297 is a great value. You said it was a 5-week training program.
Yeah.
You get this whole support group behind it. You learn how to not apply to jobs, but how to get interviews to jobs just through direct referrals. You have the support group, and you learn how to create content on LinkedIn as well. So I mean, $297 is an absolutely great deal.
It's how to get the interview. It's how to pass the interview. It's how to create content. It's really all of the tools that you need to get a promotion, to get a job. In creating content, even though that's when people onboard a training, they're the least excited about the content creation. All the time, they say that this was the most impactful module that they had, because they do not realize the power of LinkedIn, and everyone understands that. So at that point, I believe the importance and the potential of LinkedIn, but no one really gets those guidelines on how to do that. So there are trainings that are super expensive. They're here for $297. Everything is just covered. So I know it's just kind of a promotion, but I know that it is helping people. People found jobs during that 5 weeks training. So highly, highly, highly recommended.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Jeremy. Thank you so much for your time. Like I said earlier, I learned a lot just from your presentation. And I'm not even job seeking right now, but excellent, great tips as well. Just want to throw in my plug for next week. I have a LinkedIn Live next Friday, not at 5 p.m. Pacific, but 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern time. I have Deanna Russo on. She is a career strategist as well. She is the founder of Leverage Up, and we'll be talking about how to maximize how to get the most out of LinkedIn. So look forward to that. That's going to be a 9 a.m. morning live stream Pacific time, noon Eastern time. So thank you so much, Jeremy. Thank you so much for your time. If you have any questions, any comments, send them to me, or you can connect with Jeremy as well. So again, thank you so much, Jeremy, for talking about how to get job interviews. And it's not by applying online, it's by doing the 90-30-10 method and getting those direct referrals.
Absolutely. Awesome. That was great, Steven. Thank you very much for having me on your LinkedIn Live.
Yeah.
It was really fun. Looking forward to coming back and to have you again on my LinkedIn Live.
Yeah, let me know. Hey, I've noticed there's been so many LinkedIn Live series, and I thought I was original with my 52-week challenge, but I know at least 4 or 5 people who are doing it consistently weekly. So kudos to everyone, and I'm excited to see how far this goes as well. So thank you everyone for your time. Thank you, especially you, Jeremy, for your time as well. And have a good night, and best of luck with your job search, with getting interviews, and going after those direct referrals.
Thank you. Have a good night.